make sure. All right, starting to receive. Good morning, folks. Welcome to our 10th lesson, live from Jerusalem, to our wonderful friends in Europe and beyond. We've been continuing in the book of Genesis with Rabbi Chaim Goldberg live in Jerusalem. And Rabbi Goldberg has just had a new grandson, so we're all excited for you, Mazel Tov. And we're so excited, Rabbi, for you. And we so appreciate all the lessons that you've been sharing with us. I'm having difficulty, though, showing the actual lessons and everybody else's face. So since you just sent me the lessons...
First of all, let's start with Daniel, first of all. He also joined us. Good evening, everybody. I had a grandson 2 months ago. Now it's my brother who have a grandson, but we're celebrating in the north somewhere, so I went out from all of the celebration, and thank you very much. We also have here in our lesson, hi Daniel, good to see you also.
Hello, Rabbi.
And we also have here in Matas and Menta, and we also have Vida and Vida here. Good to see you all, and we have a very big celebration with them. They're going to get married, so it's very nice for us that you're joining us and having the time to be with us. It's also inspiring. Dan, don't bother yourself now.
Sorry, folks, for the technical delay. Rabbi threw at me at the very last minute. Wanted me to show the lesson. Oh, okay, we're back.
Okay, Dan, leave the lessons in a moment alone, because I think that I'm asking Daniel to share with us his story, how he became to all of this issue of the Noachide, and what brought him to start to be with us on those lessons. And he's
sounds great to me, Rabbi. I'm sorry about the little glitch, but I did get your notes. So you want me to Daniel, you want to jump in, or go for it, Rabbi?
Hello.
Yes, I think that let's start with Daniel. Everybody can also, first
folks,
of all,
Daniel is from South America,
Colombia.
from where? You tell us all about yourself, Daniel.
Hello. How you guys doing?
We're great.
We're doing that fine, thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, I'm from Bogota, Colombia. I'm from South America. I live in Colombia's capital city. So yeah. I'm gonna share you guys a little bit about my spiritual journey. Hope I don't extend myself too much. Well, it all started with when I was younger, when I was like 11 years old. My aunt started studying Judaism. It was like 15, 17 years ago. She started studying Judaism, studying Torah, and she would speak to us about how to be related with God and all these matters. But that was like my first approach to Judaism, to the teachings of Torah. After that, I had like this sort of brief I don't know how to say that. I started studying Kabbalah via internet with some person that would make YouTube videos about Kabbalah. But it was some sort. It wasn't kind of brief. It was like I don't know how to say that. It was
say it in Spanish.
It was just no. It was like for a short period of time, but it was not too long. After that, I started attending along with my aunt to a group of people that would study Kabbalah and would study Torah, but they were led by Hasidim. I guess people what Hasidim is.
Yeah.
They were led by Hasidim in Israel, but it was all via internet. But they were all quite persistent with the issue of conversion. They were all speaking about conversion to Judaism all the time, and they would claim that the Noahide issue was not so important because the final goal of everybody in this world was to convert to Judaism, and I never felt that way. I never felt that it was actually truth. I mean, I know there's not just one and only way to get close to God. I know we all have some sort of a mission in this world. We don't share the same script, so to speak. So yeah, I start feeling kind of weird attending to those classes. So I felt like I should leave. So that's exactly what I did, and I started searching for another ways to get closer to God. And that's when I find Rabbi Chaim videos, and that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Daniel,
That's just a brief story. I mean, I'm omitting a lot of details, but that's pretty much what my story is.
Daniel, I don't want to interrupt you. I want you to keep talking, but can I ask everybody to mute their microphones while Daniel's talking? There's a little button on your bottom left that should mute the microphone. If not, everybody else is cutting in while he's talking. So, if you could, you have a mute button. Go ahead, Daniel.
I have a question, Daniel, and first of all, thank you very much for sharing with us. I have a question. When those people of the Hasidim, by the way, for the Lithuanian side that we have here a lot of Lithuanian people, all of the Lithuanian ones. The Hasidim is the opposed people against the Litvak people. Okay, Lithuanian, the Litvak, and the Hasidim were in a big fight for quite a few years, I'll say it like that, in the Hebrew tradition. But when the Hasidim spoke about this issue of conversion, did they have any resources that they showed you all why they're saying that everybody needs to be a Jewish?
Now that you say it, I kind of think about it, and I don't think they have some. I don't know if I should use this word, but I didn't see that they were using some reliable sources, which they based their words. I mean, I just believed try to believe what they were trying to teach, but I don't remember any kind of source that they took all of these insights from.
I understand. I'm asking that because just a moment. Let's say, Chesky, if you can mute your microphone to help us. I think your microphone is still working all the time. So on the bottom, you can have a mute. You can mute your microphone. Chesky, it will help us.
Yeah, I can't see where the mute is.
If you can't find it, never mind. We'll manage like that. I want to say, Daniel, that one of the uniqueness that we have in the Jewish path, we don't believe, I'm saying it again, we don't believe that everybody needs to be a Jewish or that everybody needs to be an Israeli person. We do believe that there are a lot of people in this world, and all of them are close to God in each community, in each country could be connected to God with their uniqueness. And one of the most important ideologies of the Hebrew nation, if you compare this to the Christian world or you compare this to the Muslim world, this is one of the most biggest difference that we have. We do say, and this is what we are learning now in those parts of Genesis, that the Bible is speaking to all of the people of this world. There are some things that everybody needs to know and to work, but not everybody is supposed to be a Jewish, or not everybody is supposed to be an Israeli person. And one of the most important things that we're trying to show, to express, or to teach, or to say to people all over the world, that if they, as people who are inside their communities, will be a Noachide, and as a Noachide, you can also do a lot of other mitzvot, not only the 7 obligations, but you can do much more. So if you go, if you're being a Noachide inside your community and gathering more and more people to become a Noachide and to believe in one God and to understand that we can be united, all of us together, this is the best way, I will say, of living your life. Because if everybody was supposed to be a Jewish, so everybody was born Jewish. But we see that some are born Jewish and some are born, in other countries.
Yep.
So they're not supposed to be. More than that, in our tradition, we believe that people, when they are soul in heaven, we're learning now those chapters in the Genesis, okay, that people are soul in heaven. When we are soul in heaven, we have the opportunity. God is asking us, do you want to be a Jewish or you want to be from another nation? And we are deciding, okay, our free will of decision, that we can decide also to what family we are going and to what nation we're going to be part of. And most of the people of this world have decided not to become Jewish. And it's okay. It's okay. God is not asking everybody to become a Jewish.
That's right.
It doesn't say at all that you can't be even a prophet. Okay, even a prophet, you can become a prophet and have a lot of inspiration and a lot of connection with God, even though you're not Jewish. It depends on your actions. It doesn't depend on your source, okay, where you came from. You came as a Jewish or not a Jewish. Therefore, I think they can never show you, those people that you spoke about, they can't ever show you any resources from the Judaism that all of us need to convert. The only source that there is that the Rambam is saying words, and I will say it in Hebrew and then I will translate this to English. He's saying that at the end of the days, Besof Hayamim, everybody, Kulam Yed'u et Data Emet. Everybody will know the true relationship and the true religion with God. But it doesn't say, so some are trying to interpret, to say, but he says here, the Rambam, that we are all supposed to get, to become Jewish. But it's not what he is saying. He's saying, that if you will continue on to read what the Rambam is saying, he's saying that people will knowledge that this issue of Jesus, okay, and this issue of the Muslim is not saying, oh, Jesus is not God. And people will say to themselves, how come our forefathers said to us all the time that Jesus is God while he is not God? And we want to listen to what the Jewish have to say to explain to us what is God and how to have a good relationship with him. And so this is what the Rambam is saying, and there isn't any other resource that you can understand or you can think that we're all supposed to become Jewish. So
Wow.
I think it's amazing that I will say.
Very well said, Rabbi.
Okay, thanks. That your intuition went with yourself and you didn't, you felt something there is weird. I can't continue with this. And it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay, because you are not going, I will say another thing, okay? Those who are doing a real conversion, at the end of days, they're also supposed to go to the Hebrew land. because the Jewish is supposed to live in Israel. And it's not, God doesn't want us all just to live in one place in Israel. So we understand that God is asking all of us to be who we are. And there is a difference between the people from South America and the people from Canada and the people from Laos and the people from other places in the world. And all of us have different, I will say, emphasis of things that we need to do to organize.
Yeah, culture.
Even though all of us together is one big human face that can live together. If we will accept, we will take upon ourselves this, the right issues, the right values of the tree of life, what we're speaking in the last few lessons. So I want to strengthen your intuition and to say to you first of all, thank you very much for sharing with us. I think that it's very nice, and I really appreciate that. And next time someone else will share with himself, hopefully, I hope that you will agree. And I want also to strengthen your intuition of not continuing with this way, because I'm not saying when people want to convert, they can convert, okay? People can do that, but it's not something that everybody needs to convert or they're not doing the right thing. We are not Christian and we are not Muslims, so we don't believe in this. And thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. There's a lot of things that I wanted to point out after this. Thank you very much for your insight, Rabbi. I really feel this relief in my heart after hearing this. So thank you very much. But I want to point out another thing. I know that nothing happens in this world without God's permission. I know that everything happens for a reason. But I'm just trying to learn from this experience that I had. It was like almost a year ago. But the people that I would study with, they would start talking about prophecies, even prophecies, They would start saying that they had this sort of prophecy, that they had this sort of dream and stuff that when you hear it, you actually think that is true because of the level of holiness you think this whole thing is handling. So I got very scared, and I don't want people to go through the same. You know what I'm speaking about? They would say that they would try to push me to do something I didn't want to do. They would say that if I don't convert or if I don't do this or do that, something would happen to me. I mean, really deep things that I wouldn't like anyone else to go through. So that's what I wanted to point out.
So also with this, I will say, anarchy or fear that people are trying to organize with others, I think that we need to take this in the right proportion, okay? Because nobody really knows and nobody is God. Here we don't have, if someone is a prophet, maybe, but we don't have prophet. Unfortunately, in the last 2,400 years, we don't have prophets. So we don't need to be afraid of people who are saying to us, this and this will happen to you. They said it, and that's it. They're not God. When someone have a good intention, good will, and he wants to do good to his friends, to himself, to others, in the right way, by giving and not only taking, not only receiving for himself, but also giving to others, those are the right ways where God is also going to help him. And God is going to bless him. And whenever, remember this is something not only for you, Daniel, for all of us. Remember always, when you give, you will get always more. And if you're starting to give, I will say it in a different way. I'll say it like that. When, just a moment, can you see me, all of you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I moved a bit so that the noise won't interfere.
I love the rocks in the background, Rabbi. They look beautiful.
By the way, I'm sitting on a bench where it says something from Plateau. Plateau is saying that when you think about something, it's like it's a conversation between you and your soul. So it's interesting what he said. So I think I said it once, but I will say it again because those are the essential things, and especially for those who learned a bit of the Kabbalah, because the Kabbalah, this is the first steps that we're speaking about in the Kabbalah. First of all, everybody who is learning Kabbalah needs to know that the word Kabbalah is I'm accepting from someone. The most amazing thing that I passed in the last 2 years ago, something like that. I was in a town in Europe, and I met a few people that are learning Kabbalah by themselves. Now it's a contradiction, because to learn Kabbalah you need someone that will teach you. The
Right.
word Kabbalah is that I'm accepting from someone else. And when someone is teaching Kabbalah or learning Kabbalah without someone else that is teaching him, okay, it's the biggest bluff ever. But the first stage of the Kabbalah, I'll say it like that, when we're asking ourselves, how can you be connected to someone else, related with someone else? So the way of that, to doing it, is by my wish and my will be the same as his wish and his will, because the body, I have a different body than everyone else, and it's good like that, okay? So I have my own body. Even my wife have her own body. So how can we start to be related and to have good relation between one with each other? Because when we're starting to have the same will, the same wish, and then we're getting closer one to each other. Now God doesn't have any body. He's not a body, okay? He is a spiritual issue. Even the spiritual is the wrong way to express him, but God is something here that created everything. And the most important thing to understand with God, that he is all the time giving. He is giving life. He is giving everything here that it will be alive, like we spoke in the last few lessons. Now, usually when someone is getting out from his mother womb, is the first thing that he wants to do after we're smacking his tuches, okay, he's starting to cry, and he's starting to receive air and to receive food. And the youngest kids that we have, usually they want all the time to take things to themselves. And this is just the opposite will, the opposite wish from God. And the way that we can be closer to God is by trying to imitate his way. And the imitation of his way is that we want to give to others. This is why in the Hebrew tradition, someone is being called adult in the age of 13, and not in the age of 18. And the difference is, in the Christian world, I will say, in the modern world today, we're speaking about to be adult is 18 years old. And this is why, because you have enough knowledge, people have enough knowledge in the age of 18, not to kill someone else, okay? So we're giving him the license of driving license at the age of 18. Why? Because then we're sure that he's a bit, settled down to drive his car without killing others.
Mature, yeah.
You're being adult already when you're 13 years old, or 12 when you're a woman. Why that? Because this is a time that you can start giving life to someone else. The biggest present that you got in life is that you got your life. And when you have the ability of giving life to someone else, okay, when you have 12 girls and 13 for boys, those are the ages that in the body we have the ability of giving life to others. And from this point, in the Hebrew tradition, we are being recognized as an adult, because we're moving our mind not only for receiving all the time, but also giving. And this is where we're starting getting closer to God, because God is someone who is all the time giving. And when we're starting also to give to others and not only to take to ourselves, we are getting close to God in our wish, in our will, and we're starting to get closer to God. So spirituality is not something vaguely on the air, something that I'm feeling and everything else. It's good, though those things are good, but we need to put those things to actions in our life. And the actions is starting to give to others, starting to look what others have. And when we are doing those things, God is also getting closer to us. So, of course, there are also some sort of actions that he's asking. For example, the issue, we didn't get to that yet. In the Genesis, we'll speak about this. Another few lessons. The issue of saying thank you. Okay, we said it already once. God doesn't have to whom to say thank you. He doesn't have it. To whom he is going to say thank you? He is giving everything. So it's something that he is disabled. Only we can do that. And when we're managing to start to give to others and not only to take, and the best issue is when we have a birth of child, when we're getting married and we have child, and we're starting to give life to this world back. We got it, and we're also giving it. And we're growing up this young baby and everything else to be an adult. This is where we're starting to get closer to God. It's not only just all sorts of vague things. And if you won't do it, so God will punish you. No, it's not working like that at all. He wants us to get close to him, and he's expecting us to do good actions and to give to others and not only to take for ourselves. So don't be afraid for all of those things that they told you. Leave them aside. Do good things, okay, with yourself, with your community, not only you, but all of you, okay? And those are the ways of getting closer to God. And it's starting with your spouse, okay, with your husband, with your wife. It's continuing with your kids. It's going on with your bigger family and with your community. And it's continuing on with your country. And nobody is asking you to cross the lines and to move to another community or to another country. Again, if someone have a lot of ambitions inside that he wants to get the conversion and everything else, so okay, there are ways to do conversion. But the majority of the people, and the main people, those, as I said before, we know exactly what to do. Okay.
Wow, Rabbi, it seems a lot of us are not used to coming out of a religious mindset. We think we need to do this, we think we need to do that. I've got a question online from a lady in Germany.
Okay.
She says, I would like to know.
What's her name?
Her name is Bathsheba BB.
Okay.
Is her handle.
It's a German name. I can't understand that. Okay.
She would like to know if there is a special day where God is forgiving sins. And I think this ties in a bit with a religious mindset. Is there a special day where God is forgiving sins? And maybe you could elaborate a little bit on teshuvah.
Okay, it's called teshuvah. It's called repentance in English, right? I'm saying it right?
Repentance, yes.
I'm saying it correctly. There is a special day. Okay, there is a special day. I will explain this a bit. Okay, I will explain this a bit. The special day, to understand those days, there are 10 days in the Hebrew calendar that are very special with this issue of repentance, of teshuvah, where we are getting closer to God and we can get closer to God. All of us, by the way, on those days, we are not praying on the Hebrew nation. We are praying for all of the human in the world that they will manage to do this repentance. Those 10 days, we are praying for all of the people in the world. It's amazing. Okay, the most holiest days of the Hebrew nation, we are praying that God will put his appearance on all of the people of the world. By the way, this is what we're doing now. Okay, we have people from all sorts of places in the world, and we are learning, we are searching how exactly we can get closer to God. And this is what we are praying on those 10 days. To explain those 10 days, I will say it like that. There are two main ways, okay, how to organize the calendar of the year. One way is what we know, the Gregorian calendar of the sun, and it have 365 days. And this is when the sun is coming from one side to the other side in exact 365 days. And this is how the Christian world is working, okay, with the days. It was, in the old days, it was the Egyptians' side, okay, in the Bible time. And there is another way of calculating the 12 months. And this is the times that the moon is running 12 times around our Earth, okay?
Yes.
And this is basically, if I will do it exactly, more exact, it's 29 and a half days each time, each circle. But if you're doing the calculation, you will find that we are lacking 10 days between 1 year to another year. Okay, so the year, and this is, by the way that the Arabs, the Muslims, are working with the year. Okay, through the moon, the 12th time that the moon is running around the world, and this is the old ancient Babylon way of calculating the year. Now, the Hebrew tradition is all the time working together with those two calendars. It's not only one calendar; it's two calendars. But but we must admit that every few years, every 2 or 3 years, we're adding another month. So we will stay on the days also that Passover will be in the springtime, and all of those things. Now there are, because in each year, between the year of the moon and the year of the sun, there are 10 days. So those are the 10 days of the beginning of every year that those 10 days are not connected, or they are connected to the year that we passed. They're also connected to the year that is going to come. So those are the 10 days that we can do repeatness on the things that we did in the past. And it's also related to the things that we are going to do in the future of the next coming year. And those 10 days we are very close to God. And the most holiest day is what we call Yom Kippur. And this is a special day that God is giving us the repeatness and helping us to withdraw back from all of the bad things that we're doing. Wow. I will say something about this also, because that is very related to the things that we're speaking in Genesis. Okay, it's very important, because I don't want to lose the connection with Genesis that we are learning now, and we're going step after step. We spoke last week about this issue of the tree of knowledge and the tree of life is the same tree, but the difference is what is my conscience, how exactly I'm approaching the issue of the knowledge. Okay, I can approach it with a connection with God, and then this is the tree of life, and I can approach it with a way of knowledge things, and then it's only a question of the tree of knowledge, and then we might die if we will eat it in the wrong way. Now, the question is, why my approach is doing a difference in the way that I'm eating the tree? Why my approach or my mind can bring the difference about what's happening? And it's related also to the repeatedness issue. And the answer is very simple. If you can show the slide, I will tell you, Dan, in a moment, what slide please show to everybody. Just a moment, I will give you the slide that you need to show. Please show the slide number 36.
Hold on a second, Rabbi. Give me a second to pull it up. Because you send it to me I can't download the slide. I actually have to open it in a slide. And, I will
share it. Let me try to share this slide.
No, I can pull it. Which slide you want? I've got
36. Slide number 36. 36.
Loading. 36. Okay. Do you want me to read it, or do you want me to actually see if I show it? I may lose my connection.
Okay. So just a moment. Sorry.
I can read it for you.
I said goodbye to some of my family. Sorry.
Okay, so slide 36, Rabbi, has to do with the human components in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And it says, "And the Lord God formed man of dust from the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the soul of life, and man became a living soul." And then it says, a living soul. Cattle and beasts were also called living souls, but this one of man is the most alive of them all, because he was additionally given intelligence and speech.
Okay, and we spoke about this, intelligence and speech. We spoke about this, and we understand that the uniqueness of man and all of the animals is this intelligence and speech. So what is this intelligence? Let's think about this for a moment, and we'll see. We'll be amazed a bit with this answer. The issue is that I can do things on a regular basis. For example, when I'm learning how to drive, in the beginning it's very hard. And if the teacher that is teaching me how to drive is also putting the radio, it's really interfering me, it's bothering me. I need to concentrate in everything that I'm doing. But when I know how to drive, and for example, I'm driving to my work, okay?
Right.
Usually it's an automate in my mind. I'm not thinking about this. I'm doing it in automation, okay? And the same thing, when I'm doing things on automation, I'm not thinking about them. This is where I'm like an animal. What is the difference between an animal who is doing things without any cognition, any recognition, any thought in behind of what they're doing, the animals, and us as human beings who are doing things without thinking? So what is our uniqueness? When we are thinking what we are doing. And if you're doing things without any thoughts, it's like an animal. Now, when someone is doing, for example, a sin, someone is doing a sin, someone is doing something bad, but his intention is to do something bad. So he is connecting his bad mindset with his actions. When he is doing repentance, he is saying to himself, I want to connect this bad intention and to put in this action good intention. I'm really sorry for what I did. Then this is a very unique way of thinking where we're starting to understand why the repentance can come to this world, because I'm disconnecting my bad intention from this action, and I'm trying to put inside good intention to those actions. So you will say to me, but I did something bad. Excellent. But we know that God is also a bit involved in this world, no? Right? So he will take this bad action, he will do with this whatever he needs to do, that it will be for good. We can see this in the most, I will say, in the most clearness, when Joseph is saying to his brothers, after they sold him, and he came to Egypt, and he was the secondary for the king, and he managed to bring life to all of this world. And he said to them, you thought, when you sold me, you thought with a lot of bad intention, but now I see that you have repentance and you are regretting what you did. God organized everything that it will be for good, that we will manage to live. So God took your bad action with your changing of mindset, okay, from bad to good, and he put this action to a good side. And us as human, when we are doing things without any thoughts, it's like an animal, but we are much better than that. You said it before, a moment before. You said that one of the most important things that we have also the intelligence. So when we put some sort of mindset, will, wish inside our actions, we are moving to another level. And this is where we have the ability to do repentance. And this is also the main source of the difference. If I'm taking this knowledge, okay, the tree of knowledge or the tree of life, if I'm taking this knowledge and I'm looking on this on the way of how can I get more knowledge, this is one thing. But if I'm with the mindset of how can I get here from this knowledge more closer to God, because he gave this knowledge in this world, and what exactly is speaking with me through this knowledge, I can take this issue with my mindset and be in the very highest level. So it could be the tree of life for me.
Wow.
This is something that we need to understand, because we are very unique as human beings and different to the animals.
Wow, Rabbi, I find that so applicable to myself, especially in some scientific studies, some discoveries, things of that nature. I find when I try to share it, or when I have shared it in the past, and some people just aren't ready to handle it, I can see that there's a complete difference in the way I'm trying to deliver it and the way people are trying to receive it, or not willing to receive it. Or I find that there are things in life that if we reached out to grab incorrectly, or for the wrong motive, or like you say, like an animal, it just doesn't seem to hit the mark, and it misses the mark. It actually does it in the wrong way. And I think, yeah, you've hit on something profound for me personally. I'm really going to have to digest it.
Okay, fair enough. I think that unfortunately I can't continue on very much today. So if there's any more questions, this is the time. I'm sorry for this shortness of this week. Hopefully next week I will sit down calmful and everything will be okay in my home, and we won't have any reasons why I need to short. But if there are any more questions with people, this is the time. And if not, so at least everybody will say a word or two about things that he took for himself and this of today. So Timothy, please, yes, say something, but you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Rabbi. I was just wanting to say thank you for that lesson. I really did enjoy it, and it was also I learned a lot from it too. So it's not just about enjoyment.
Thank you very much. Yes, you have a question or something?
Yeah. This book, it's great.
This is the prayer book. The prayer book.
Yeah. It's
Very
a great
good.
book, and I should read it more, but I've gotten a lot of good information from it. So very affordable.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. Let's say Matas. Hey, Menta, speak something. Say something.
Thank you, Rabbi, for this lecture. Our dreams is coming true. We now have a small community here.
It's true.
So what I got from this lesson that we can become similar to our Creator by wishing to give to others. So it's
Beautiful.
what I was asking. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Very much. Very good. Okay, thank you, Mata. I'm saying, Renat.
Rabbi, I think you explained it very clearly that in our lives we have to use the question why, because I think in our world most of people, they ask what, when, and how, but very few ask the question why. So if we don't understand why we are doing that and how they are aligned with our beliefs, then we are, as you said, close to animals.
Exactly. Yes.
So
Okay.
thank you for explaining this in a very clear manner.
Okay, thank you very much. Daniel, you want to say something also?
Yes, Rabbi. Foremost, I want to thank you because this lecture was amazing. I learned a lot. Thank you for your insights about my personal situation. I really feel better. I feel like I've learned something really like huge. So I want to thank you about that. I have a question, but I don't know if you got enough time to answer it. I don't know.
I've learned from my rabbis that to ask, you can always ask. If maybe I won't give an answer now, but it's okay. Yes, can ask.
Okay, it's not so related to the last insights you gave, but a little bit related with the I mean the conversion thing. Um, there's a lot of people here that I have heard from. They always thinking about, and then they always talk about the Olam Haba. They always think saying that this world practically doesn't matter, that this world is some sort of a proof that you gotta pass. This world is something you gotta build up your good actions, because the only world that matters is the next world, is the world to come. So they think that this world we're living now, this material world, doesn't matter at all. That all it counts at the end of it all is the world to come. Is that true?
It's half true. It's supposed to. It's much bigger answer than what I'm going to say now. I will say in a sentence, everything that is connected to the next world is being based on the way of the actions that we did in this world. And all of you who are sitting here, okay, in this lesson, in the right path of building up the next world in the right way. Not because you're listening to me, okay? I'm just a missionary from things that I got from my rabbis, and I'm telling you, all of you. But by seeking the truth and trying to do good things to others and all of those things, those are the main points that are building up your next world. And I will explain this. I will expand this in a previous time, next time, or not, maybe not next time, but in the next coming few lessons, I will give a lesson about this issue of the next world. Everything is very, it's based. The next world is based on the actions that we're doing in this world. So it's very important what we're doing in this world, and we can't just skip on this world and say nothing here is matter. Everything will be okay next world. No. Everything is going to be built up in the next world are the things and actions that we're doing in this world. Okay, so thank you, but thank you very much also, Daniel, for sharing with us and exposing your insight, and it's very inspiring, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Well,
and Dan, yes, say something.
All I can say is I want to thank Daniel for sharing all the way from Bogota, Colombia. We've also got a gentleman named Heiske with us. It's an honor to meet him as well. I don't know if he has his microphone on, but I know that Rabbi Chaim wants to take a little bit of time every week as we continue forward to maybe showcase one of you, to let one of you share some of your background, some of your history, some of your journey in becoming a Noahide, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity. I want to thank Daniel for sharing a bit of his past today. Rabbi, any closing words? I know you want to wind it down early today. I appreciate all the people that join in online. Our friend Cole. We've been getting Bathsheba from Germany and many others, and I just appreciate the growth that's going on in this group. And the depth of the lessons, I always have to go and think about what you've shared during the week, Rabbi.
First of all, thank you very much. I'm trying to be simplest as maximum I can do. So if it's too much in depth, tell me, and I will try to go back one step. I think that I'm trying. By the way, I think that people today. They wish, they need to have deep answers, because people are having very deep questions. And if we will just say to them, I had a dream, and if you won't do this, this and this will happen to you, and all those fear things and other things, it's very low level, that it's not really pushing people, as we saw also with Daniel, that you explained to us this week. And it's normal, because people don't want to live with fear, people don't want to live with vague things. People have deep answers, deep questions, and they need to get deep answers. So we need to say, we don't need to be shy. We need to say deep things. And if I need to expand it more and more and more, so I will try to do this as much as possible. And thank you very much.
Thank you for it all.
Thank you very much for attending. And hopefully next week on this time for a full hour, and also with the slides. And we'll continue on with the Genesis issue. And see you all. Bye. See you tomorrow also.
Bye. להתראות.
להתראות. Shalom, shalom.